Monday 23rd November, the celebrations moved on to Kasambuk, where some 3 kilometres from the centre, gathered in great companies, were at least 1,000 people dressed for the special celebrations. A large float, decorated with palms, flowers and fruit, was waiting for the guests of honour. Pastor Bob Spence, the pioneer missionary, Pastor Pongies, the pioneer pastor, the village chief and I were then lifted bodily onto the float. We then led the procession up and down the hills for the long march to Kasambuk Centre. We stopped traffic for the next hour. I was able to see the total procession from my vantage point as we were seated looking backwards on the marching column. Immediately behind our float marched 30 national pastors dressed smartly in fresh white shirts, dark trousers and special AOG church neckties. Behind them marched more than 100 women in handmade dresses in the full colours and design of the Papua New Guinea national flag. Then a band of timbrel players and more special groups for almost a kilometre. As we neared the Kasambuk Centre, a group of men in their old warrior dress with bodies covered with dried mud and spears and drums in their hands moved in right behind our float. They sang in Tok Place, their local language, of their past blindness and darkness, then of the coming of the gospel. They repeatedly pointed to us, and as they rhythmically sang with loud voices and drumbeat, they were saying, "Thank you." No one present that day will forget the symbolism of this event, nor the power of the gospel at work in this place. Crowds lined the way, especially as we neared the centre. Every second person seemed to be wearing an AOG t-shirt. Many held replica AOG church flags. The 4 guests of honour led the walk up the hill from the road to the platform where we were formally welcomed and leis were placed around our necks. It was my privilege to declare the celebrations for Sausia District open. Then, for several hours, there were speeches, songs, the police band played and flags were raised. Then a dramatic reenactment of the call and the arrival of the missionaries and the unveiling of a plaque and monument in honour of the pioneer missionaries and national workers. Joseph Maru, as General Superintendent, officiated, then closed the first service with a powerful exhortation from the Word of God.
Misalnya, di sana missionary kama bro, ori kisun pondo mabritan, ori kisun mabritan, ori kisun kita, ori kisun Romawi, ori kisun Hailian, ori kisun Sepik, ori kamu wige, ori sana mengaja kamu masuk, kamu bro di sana kajian bro Kasambuk, ori mega story negeri, ori kini. Abai truk korsen a story korsen. Ebi putih mikon ay propati man.
Celebrations continued that night with another great service with Pastor Frank Farr, a former missionary, as guest speaker. The next day, they held the opening and dedication of the new church building with Bob Spence, the pioneer missionary, as special guest. Celebrations continued all day at Chisambuk and on into the third day. The joy and gratitude of the Christians for the coming of the missionaries was a constant.
Yes, we're very proud to be here today to unveil this monument that shows the names of those who dedicated some part of their lives to the establishment of this church here on Chisambuk. So we're very proud to be here today, and we thank the people for their great effort in putting on this celebration at this time. Thank you.